off right, boys. Yeah. Oh my God.
Hi, Mom. Sorry, not sorry.
But on camera when I die?
Of course. What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Brap Genius back at it again with another video. Today we're going to be putting the Mikuni carb and the air intake and air filter on the Boom Vader. I've yet to start this bike. Like I said, there's a couple things I want to do before I actually go and start the bike, and that's one of the things is these stock carburetors on these bikes are garbage. So I'm going to go out and show you guys how to do it. I've messed with the carb on a 2005 Honda Shadow that I had and my 2003 YZ250. So I'm pretty sure it's going to be a similar concept. It shouldn't be that hard to replace it, hopefully. And I'm going to do the best I can to show you guys me going through and doing it, because there's not really that many videos on YouTube of how to actually go in and change it. So first thing we're going to have to do is the carburetor, just so you guys know, is right here. So the intake is right here. That's going to connect to the airbox, which is all up in this. We're going to take that out. And it's going to connect to here. So basically we're going to be getting rid of this. And instead of that, we're going to be running with this one right here. It's Mikuni carb. So that's all we're going to be doing today, switching that out. Basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in here now. I took off this first bolt. Basically I'm just going to take apart the airbox from here, take off the whole thing, and then try and work on the carb from this angle. I think that's going to give me a better chance, because it looks like taking off the fairings for this thing is going to be a lot more of a process than I was looking to do for this project. So I'm just going to take off the airbox first and then get to the carb that way. I've unscrewed all of those. That one's almost all the way out. Same thing on the other side. All of those are out for the airbox. So at this point we can go ahead and take the top of the airbox off and start to see what we have in here. So see how well this works with one hand. But alright, so let's see what we got. See if we can slip it off. The air filter, we're not going to need this anyway, so I don't care. Alright, now we're starting to get somewhere. Alright, so now I got to figure out where this is screwed in from on the back side, because this is still mounted in, I believe, probably to the carb. A couple spots you can see up there. It's mounted on right in there. So it's probably the same thing on the other side, and then probably just attached to the carb itself back here, right where that hole is. So I'm just going to go through, unscrew all that. Like I said, there's a bolt here connecting it in. There's a bolt here holding it in. Same thing on the other side of the frame. So we're just going to undo those two and see if we can get this plastic crap off. Alright guys, so now I've undone the bolt up here. You can see this is off right here now. That's free. Same thing on the other side. Now it's glued on. I'm not going to be using this airbox anymore. I'm probably just going to rip it off, to be honest, because I'm replacing the whole carb too. So I'm just going to probably yank at it for a little bit, get it off, and then I'll show you guys what you're looking at once you get to the actual carb. Alright guys, so that is the airbox cover. And here, like I said, it was just glued on to the hose here. It's just glued onto the hose right there, so I was able to get that off. Now we got to look at our carburetor in here. So I'm basically going to start to go through. I'm going to start with the intake, which is right here, the closest thing to us. There's 4 bolts, 1, 2, 3, 4 bolts. We go through, take those off, and then once I get the intake off, then I can go to the carb itself and start working on that. Alright guys, so I've been messing around for a little bit. Let me give you an update. So basically this piece right here that's coming around, this one, right? We're not going to need this. I'm going to take this off here, put a bolt in there to kind of hold it in place. That's not going to be an access to the next spot of how we're going to be doing this. It's not going to be needed. Now while we're looking in here, the two things that we need right here, that's your throttle cable, is going to be connected to the new carb when we put that on. And then on the side here you have the this is what your fuel, this is what's going to allow your fuel to come in, so you're going to need that for your gas as well. Those are the two things that you're going to have to connect. So I'm going to get all this other stuff off, take it off, and then start to put all these lines back onto the new carb and set up that air intake for it and stuff. And then, yeah, once everything's on, the new carb will be all set up. Alright guys, so as you saw before, the throttle cable was set up in here on the top of the carb. So simply all I have to do is unscrew that top part of the carb right there, and then the throttle cable will come off. The cap for that and compared to the Mikuni carb is the same. So I am literally just going to use this the way that it is with the throttle cable and just hook it up to the new carb when I get to that point. Right now the new carb that I have has its own separate choke switch. So I'm going to undo the choke switch for this, get rid of this cable because I'm not going to need it. And then the last thing I have to take off is the fuel line on the side up here. And that's it. Then I'm just going to rehook everything up and you know, then that's it. Then basically the bike could start. Before I do that, I do want to put on the exhaust first. Like I said, I'm going to put on the carb, put on the air intake. That's super easy. But yeah, so I'll show you guys as I go through. Alright guys, so I got the fuel line off over here. I just undid this right here for the choke wire. All you gotta do is pull this little piece out from here, push this up like that, pop that off. Last thing I gotta do is unscrew this last bolt, and then the carburetor will be completely off, and I can start to put the new one together and put it on. Alright guys, so basically what I had to do is, there's the throttle cable. Right here, it was set up right about here. You have to push the spring out slowly. You can grab it one by one, go through, push it out, and then once the spring is out, you could take the line and pull it to the end, and it'll pop out right at the end of that. It's kind of hard to see, but in there is a spot that holds the end of it, this little piece. Holds it in place so that it doesn't move. So once you do that and you get the spring out, you can basically pull the line down and put it on. So now at this point I can go ahead, put the other piece of this on, and at that point then we can start to put the new carburetor on and yeah, finish it up. Alright guys, so if you take a look at that setup, test the throttle end. Look at that guys, I'm mechanicked. Alright, so now at this point the throttle cable is now hooked up to that. Really all I have to do is connect the gas line to the carb, and then do the intake and the air filter, which should be really easy. So I'm going to set all that up now, get it ready, and then I'll show you guys what it looks like once I get there. Air intake is on the bottom. Like I said, you got to do the 2 bolts there, 2 bolts here with the gasket. You know, I'll finish the other side as soon as I can get the nut for that, and it's bolted up. Got my throttle cable hooked up through the top of the carb there, and then the fuel line is connected there. That's really all you need. Those are the only 2. Like I said, off of here you have this thing, but I'm gonna get a little plug for that. But get that to stay there. Leave everything else. Everything else is good in there. And yeah. So last thing I got to do is the little air intake, which is super easy. All you have to do is undo a clamp, pop it on, and it's done. So hopefully I can get this on. I'll finish everything up, and yeah, that'll be our carb installation for this Boom Vader, guys. Alright everybody, it is the next day. It was getting pretty late last night, so I shut things down and just finished up. So air intake is installed. You got the 2 bolts going on to the engine. Air intake is installed here with the bolts. I had to get some nuts with the carb kit that I bought to put on both sides of this. That's all tight now. The air intake is on, as you can see. There's just a bolt here on the other side that you have to tighten. In terms of extra tubes and stuff, I have this plugged up. This one can be plugged up. You don't need this. In terms of this one that's hanging out here, this goes to the engine. If you put a bolt in this and tighten it up, it will pressurize the engine and you're going to start leaking oil. So basically all you want to do is just put a little filter on there. They have actual filters for it. I just used an old wife beater just to cover it up, and then I'm just going to tuck that out of the way somewhere. The build is done, guys. So if you like this video and it helped, let me know by hitting the like button. Hit subscribe if you want to see more videos with this bike. Eventually I will have it out on the road, and yeah, we're gonna have a lot of fun, guys. So thanks for watching. Have a great day as always. Peace.